Going. Good morning, everybody. My name is Kazi Teal. I am dialing in from the not so sunny South Dakota. If you were on early, you got to hear us talking about the changing of seasons in the different areas of the country right now. But we're coming off Dallas, like we're coming off fresh off this event. My heart is full. My voice is a little bit raspy. I'm sure everybody on this call right now is in the same space because this there's a feeling in the air right now, and that feeling is fire, and it's go, 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 go. And in addition to the go, go, go of what's going on at LifeVantage right now, I am a basketball mom, and college basketball season kicked off yesterday. My daughter's team tip-off was 1 o'clock for their season opener, and it was an absolute gift to be able to be there. And when I think about the gifts that LifeVantage has given me, we think about all the time of the people that their story has changed because of the amazing blessings of activation, because the products change bodies, they change lives. We all know that. We all work in the wellness space. We know that our products are changing lives, answering prayers. But I was a tired, wore out, crazy mom and a tired, wore out, crazy wife who didn't have time for anything. I knew how to make money. I didn't know how to make time. And so when LifeVantage was brought into my life, I remember thinking one question, if this is even half real, this could change everything. And that was 15 years ago last Monday. So I was going into the event celebrating my 15 years with LifeVantage. And I feel so grateful that I get to talk about the topic I'm talking about today because this one thing changed everything in my business. So buckle up, everybody. I hope you have a pen. I hope you have some paper. I talk super fast. This is recorded. We will be sharing with everybody. But what we're going to talk about today is the party of third we're going to talk about we're going to talk about the power of third party conversations and edification. And I want to circle back to my story just for a little bit because 15 years ago, when I was tired, I was wore out, I was stressed out. I had three little kids at home, and I just knew I wanted something more as to what I could give them with my time. Like I just didn't feel like I was able to be present for my kids. Like I was with my kids, but my mind was racing. It was 50 places every single day, every single minute. I was tied to my laptop, tied to my BlackBerry, and I just couldn't give my kids that full attention that they deserved. And yesterday, as I'm sitting in the stands and the national anthem played, every time that national anthem gets me, not only because I'm a military mom, my oldest son is in the Navy, but I just said to myself, this is why we do it. Like, this is it. These are the moments that we do this for. Like, we all have those things, those moments, those situations that just they stop us in our tracks and they're like, this is it. This is it. Because I get to be there. Guys, I got to tell you, I'm kind of a loud mom. Okay. I'm kind of a loud mom, but here I am, half court line, front row, watching my baby girl go for the tip. I love that. I love that. And so, the one thing we're going to talk about today has given me the ability to be front and center for my kids. I always say LifeVantage network marketing has given me a front row seat to being a mom for my family. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second here. All right. So today we're going to talk about the power of third party conversations. Okay. So you guys know me, I'm Kazi Teal. And the first thing we're going to talk about is let's talk about our goals. Because as we go into this conversation, as we go into this quick little presentation this morning, I want you to really ask yourself right now, what do you want? Because again, when I started LifeVantage, I had no idea what the power of network marketing was. I had no idea that the industry was so incredible. I had no idea the power of the millions of lives that together we can help just from saying yes. But I just knew I wanted one thing. The only goal that I had is I wanted to be a front seat mom. Like I wanted to be front and center because in my corporate career, I knew how to make money. In my corporate career, I knew how to make relationships. In my corporate career, I knew how to do a lot of things, but what I didn't know how to do was to get home and shut it off and be a mom to my kids. And so when network marketing crossed my path, There was three things that I wanted. Number one, I wanted flexibility to be just like I said, have a front row seat to being a mom to my kids. Number two, I wanted to be able to help people because in my corporate world, I made the company I worked for a lot of money. I shouldn't say we, like my team, we made the company I worked for a lot of money. But also when I made somebody else a lot of money, they set the rules on my salary, my schedule, all those things. And so when I had the opportunity to say yes to LifeVantage, and I knew, I took one look at this thing and thought, okay, if this is even half real, this is going to change the world. And so I jumped in without any experience, any knowledge, but I knew I wanted three things. I wanted flexibility to own my calendar. I wanted to be able to help people on a bigger scale, and I wanted to be able to control my own income. And so those are the three things. Like I didn't understand activation. I didn't understand wellness. I didn't understand any of the things. I just knew that I wanted those three things. So from day one, those were the things that I had written in my journal that these are the things I wanted. And I was willing to do anything to get to those things. Because again, we all sign up, we all say yes for a very specific reason. Now, 15 years later, I'm here. My goals have absolutely shifted, absolutely grown because my vision is so much bigger. But I knew that those were the three things that I wanted. And I will tell you that I'm going to go back before, they weren't happening quickly. So I was going to tell you the story at the end at the end, but I'm going to tell you right now. So let me just tell you a little bit about me. So when I jumped in, I was so excited. And all I wanted to do was tell people because, man, I thought if this is even half real, this is going to change the world. And so I started talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. And I got no after weirdo, after hang up, after, oh my gosh, turn, turn. I live in a very small town. There's 600 people in my town. People were avoiding me. And I finally got to my sister and I told my sister, I need your credit card. You're going to be a customer in my anti-aging company. She goes, what do you mean? I said, I don't know. I just need your credit card because everybody else is telling me no. At this point, 87 consecutive conversations turned into a big fat no. And at this point, my belief that for whatever reason, my belief was way up here, it had come down. I kept thinking like, am I crazy? Am I the only person that thinks this sounds cool? Am I the only person that thinks this could really work? And I remember picking up the phone. And at the time I had a flip phone, guys. Texting wasn't even a thing yet. So I picked up the phone, called my mentor at the time. I said, I don't know if this is going to work. And she goes, what are you talking about? And I said, and she's like, you haven't enrolled anybody yet. Like, what do you mean it's not going to work? So I proceeded to tell her about all of my conversations. And she started laughing and she's like, whoa, Cassie, you've done how many conversations in the last 6 weeks? Because it took me 6 weeks to get to basically tell my sister, you have to do this. She says, you've done what? And I told her all of the things. Because again, I'm on a little island in a little tiny town in South Dakota, all by myself. And she started laughing. She's like, okay, you want to grow fast or you want to grow slow? I'm like, I want to grow fast. I want flexibility. I want to help people and I want to make money. Okay. So she goes, are you ready for some coaching? I said, yeah. She says, you're doing it. She goes, you gotta let me help you. And at the time, I gotta tell you, like, what do you mean you gotta let me help you? I'm a corporate girl. I do presentations all the time. I can talk to anybody. I know how to give a presentation. I know how to do this. I know how to do this. And then it was like this boom, aha moment of I was a baby in diapers again. And I had to realize that if I wanted this to work for me, I was going to have to become coachable. And that's when I was introduced to the power of third party conversation. So today, I'm sure everybody on this line right now has heard of a third party conversation. But what I want to do is I want to explain what it is, why we do it, and how to physically set it up. Because this one thing changed the landscape of my business. And we all know that what we do duplicates. And what was really cool is remember, 87 people told me no. So it's not like anybody was watching me try and do this all by myself. But I will tell you this, my business grew a whole lot faster. And it was a heck of a lot more fun when the yeses started coming in. I'm going to tell you where this one thing took me after I started to understand what is a third party conversation. So first of all, a third party conversation is simply a three-way connection between you, your prospect, and an expert or a tool. And for the sake of this call today, we're talking about the expert. We're not going to, I know every team has got different tools that they use, but today we're going to talk about utilizing the expert in your business, because what this does, it's a way for you to borrow credibility from someone else while you're building your own. Now remember, let's go back to those 87 consecutive no's. I had no credibility. I was a banker. I was a banker. People would talk to me about how to pay off credit card debt. People would talk to me about where to get a mortgage loan. People would talk to me about how to refinance their car. Those were the things that I was really good at. I wasn't really good at network marketing. I wasn't really good at health and wellness at that point. And so what I had to learn is how to connect the prospects that I wanted to see the information to the expert. And so when you do this, it's simply just a way to validate information without sounding salesy. Because, oh my gosh, you guys, I wish I would have had some of those early conversations. I swear to you, I lost friends. Like, I lost friends over this because they thought that I was, I don't know. Like, at one point, one of my friends said, "Hey, are you okay? Like, are you being held hostage or something? And you have to tell us this?" I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." Another friend said, "Did you join one of those weird cult things?" So again, it's all because of how I was doing this. I had no credibility. And so what a third party conversation will do is simply transfer belief and build trust between you and your prospect. This is a perfect example of letting the system do the talking so you can build confidence through the process. And this is what I'm going to tell you right now. This will duplicate. So if you are someone out there right now that's trying to do this by yourself, and some way, some shape, somehow somebody says yes, this will duplicate. Now, let me explain to you why this duplicated for me. When I was a prospect and the person that enrolled me called me and said, "Hey, Kazi, you've got to check this out for your dad." Perfect. I took one look at a tool. So she did her job with giving me a tool. And so instantly I thought all I have to do is talk to people. I did not have a third party conversation coming into my business. I had no idea what it was. I was so grateful. I was so grateful when I started to understand third party, because I remember when I said yes and I got on my computer and I filled out the application and I put in my social security number and I put in my credit card and hit submit. I had this instant feeling of, oh no, what did I do? Because you see, I had never done this before. And I had this really exciting feeling like, yes, let's go. And I had this really scary feeling like, oh crap, what did I just do? I don't know how to do this. And so fast forward, it took 5 days for me to realize that I wasn't in this all by myself. I got a phone call from somebody in my upline. At first, I got to tell you, I was really upset by that phone call, because I thought LifeVantage had sold my information. You see, I worked for a giant bank, and we would really pride ourselves in, we're not going to sell your information. So when somebody called me and said, "Hey, welcome to LifeVantage," but I'm like, what's going on? But that was the first time I realized that I was not alone on an island, and somebody somewhere knew how to do this. So had I had a third party conversation starting my business, I probably would have realized that, hey, I can talk to these folks that have done this before. So again, a third party conversation is really just a way to connect you and your prospects with someone who is credible. At the end of the day, the only goal of the third party conversation is to have your prospects say, "Wow, this is real. This is real." That's all we're doing, is transferring belief. So this is why. Okay, this is why. So we know what a third party conversation is. Now let's talk about why we use this in our business. Just a couple of key things here. Number one, this is going to build instant credibility and trust. Because remember, people know the old you, they don't know the new you yet. They don't know where we're going. In fact, I always love to use the example of when I was in college and I graduated. I went to a technology college. And so when I graduated, my background was, I did not take a degree in computer science or information systems. I thought that was a very risky thing to study because I didn't have vision. I didn't see the future of technology. But a handful of my friends who did, when we went out into the workforce, I started in an entry-level position at this bank. Some of my friends start at the top of departments. And I remember thinking to myself, how the heck did they get these jobs? Like these people are idiots. Like I remember these guys from college when I don't even know if they brushed their teeth before class. And now they're running departments of companies. Okay. So in my mind, that's how I saw those guys. I saw who they used to be, not who they were. Now, these people, they came in because they had vision, because they had education, because they understood something before the rest of us understood. They're at the top. And so that's what third party conversations do is it allows you to connect someone, your friends, your family, your neighbors to an expert. And all they're going to do is paint the story, paint the vision. And what they're also going to do is put that credibility back on you. You can't hop in there and say, "Oh my gosh, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing now," because your friends know the old you. They don't know the you that you're growing into. Remember, this also transfers belief because in the process of a third party conversation, not only are we building a bridge, we are sharing information, but we're sharing stories. Facts are going to tell the story. Facts are going to tell all day long. It's the stories that are going to sell. So when you can connect someone with somebody that's not you, that knows maybe a little bit more than you, that's got a little bit different story than you, what your prospect is going to think is like, man, if that worked for them, just maybe it could work for me. Like, is this resonating with anybody? I would love to know in the chat right now who is like getting this right now that you love the power of third party in your business, or maybe you came into your business because of the power of a third party. There we go. I love it, love it, love it. Okay. Next thing that third party is going to do, it's going to create duplication because remember, what you do duplicates, good or bad, what you do duplicates. And when it's just you starting out, trying to get out of the gates, and you are out there talking, 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 if that's how you launch your business, the people that you talk to that say yes, again, occasionally people do say yes from those conversations. Those people are going to do what you do. The success of your business depends on tools and systems and stories, not just because you know everything. I remember when I first started, my goal was to be the smartest person in the room. Not my goal anymore. I love knowing the smartest person in the room. I want the best systems in the room because systems duplicate, stories duplicate. Okay. The next thing that third party conversations are going to do is protect your posture. So many times, and I can tell you this straight from my experience, I used to feel like I was chasing people, like I wanted to get them, like, let's get them, like, I'm going to get that guy, I'm going to get him in my business. I laugh at that now because we don't have to sell or chase. What we have
I
is
was not paying
so good.
attention.
It is so good, right? Like what we have is so good that
20 on two.
hold up one second here. I'm going to make sure everybody's muted. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. So, third party is going to protect our posture. We don't have to sell, we don't have to chase. We're just going to connect. And when we edify the people that we're talking to, that shows confidence, not desperation. I'm going to give you an example of what true edification looks like because I love building people up, putting people on a pedestal, and then handing my prospects over to that conversation. Last thing that it's really going to do is build culture and community. This is not a me thing. This is a we thing that we're doing right now. Third party conversations show the power of team. And we all know that we've got incredible products that we can be talking about and sharing all day long. But our best product is our Evolve compensation plan. I think I heard a statistic last week in Dallas that said 80% of people right now are living paycheck to paycheck. People need money, just like they need health, they need wellness, they need to help activate their systems in their body. They need money. And that's what duplication is going to do. It's going to help people make more money in their business. This is a mission, not a sales pitch. And honestly, the biggest thing right here is that we don't use third party because we don't know the answer. We use it because it works better. Okay. It just works better. And we don't have to know the great big words. I think that's probably one of the biggest things right now, as I tell people all the time, you don't need to know these great big words, but listen to my friend who does, especially if it's someone that wants to know more in depth on the product side. So let's talk about the different levels of third party, because again, there's different times, different places, different reasons that we're going to be using third party. I've been in this business for 15 years. I still use third party. I still tell myself every single day, Cassie Teal, you need to do a better job of using third party in your business. Why? I can answer the questions. I know I can answer almost every question that's come to me, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if I can answer them. What matters is, am I going to teach brand new, excited people how to use the system? So if you are brand new right now, your only job is to invite people and bring them to the information. Your job is to invite people to the leader, invite people to the team tools. That's all you need to do. And this is really a game of how many people can you talk to? Because again, you got to talk to a lot of people to get a lot of people to look at the information. My very good friend Bob Trigley has always taught me more conversations equal more opportunities. Less conversations equal less opportunities. No conversations equal no opportunities. So right now, if you are brand new, if you're watching this and this is your very first time learning about the power of third party, it is all about inviting to the tools and inviting to the team. And your leader that you're working specifically with will tell you exactly what tools that your team is going to use. I am a huge fan of the ABC Primetime Investigative Report. Why? Because that is the best third party we will ever see, an independent third party news station doing an investigative report on our company. How cool is that? So if you're brand new, remember, you don't have to know anything. All you have to know is who you're working with, how do you get a hold of them, and how do you connect people to them? Number two, what happens once you can talk the talk? And when should I talk? Okay, so this is really where, remember, when it's your people, when you're picking up the phone and you're talking to your prospects, it's all about using the same same process for your prospects. I will tell you from personal experience, and I'm sure several people on the line can agree with me, sometimes the more you know, the more it can hurt you in your business because the more you know, the more you talk. And I had to learn that just because I know more doesn't mean I need to say more. You need to say less to more people. But now, the beauty of being able to talk the talk, now you can switch it on and be the third party validator for your team. Your team can connect you with their prospects. And you can say, hey, tell me a little bit about you. What's your story? What do you do for fun? What do you do for work? Tell me about your family. If you could change a couple of things about your life right now, what would you change? And you just have a conversation with people. The next thing is, when do I need a next level leader? And I say a next level leader is somebody that maybe you need to find the closest executive consultant on your team. Maybe you need a medical professional. Maybe you need a very specific testimonial. And it's always good to know, okay, when you're brand new getting started, you're going to connect everybody to your leader. And you're going to know who your leader is by just they're going to tell you, hey, I'm working with you. Anybody you want to talk to, let's get someone on a three-way call. Let's get them on a Zoom. Let's go have coffee. That's the person you're going to lock arms with and build your business with. However, there are times that you need somebody with a little more experience, a little more knowledge, a little more information to help you bridge the gap between what they need to say yes in your business. And so, okay, how do I really do it? There are three key ways that we can use third-party validation. Number one, the three-way phone call. Number two, the Zoom meeting. And number three, the in-person event. And I'm going to talk specifically about how we use those things. The three-way phone call is great for the person that's really, really busy. Maybe they've got a long commute to and from work every single day. Maybe they're like me, where I'm on the go all the time. It is much easier for me if I'm creating a third party experience for someone that I'm talking to, it's much easier for me to do a three-way call because I am on the go a lot. I don't sit right here at this desk very often. I take my phone with me. I build my business from my phone. I'm on the go. I'm on the move. So it's easier for me if I can fit it into the nooks and crannies of my days. And so again, everybody's got different things that they love in their business. And so I love the three-way phone call. However, there are prospects that I talk to that they want to see me. They want to see me like this, or maybe it's like the second or third touch in the conversation of LifeVantage. Now we're going to bring them into a Zoom meeting where we can bring people in. We can have two or three people on the Zoom with us where we're simply talking face to face. And then there's obviously that lovely in-person meeting where you sit down, you have lunch, you have coffee, and you just talk about life. All of these things are right because again, all you are doing is bringing your prospect to the table to talk to somebody else. And so if you love three-way calls, great. If you love Zoom meetings, great. If you love in-person, great. They are all right. Now, again, one of the things that I always want to do too is understand what works best for my prospect, because maybe a phone call works best for me, but if my prospect wants to sit down and look me in the eye and have coffee, I'm going to find a coffee shop and I'm going to meet that person in person and we're going to talk and we're going to talk. And maybe my third party can't be there in person with me, but you know what I do have? I do have the ability to bring in my phone and put this person on the line and let my friend talk to this friend on the phone. So again, we don't have to overthink this. It's just all the things that we can do to bridge the gap and connect somebody with somebody else in our business to get their questions answered. The key to all of this is setting up the conversation through edification. Now, edification has changed everything for me in my business. I was taught from the best of the best how to edify the people that I'm working with because, again, remember, we're bringing credibility, we're building trust, we're bridging the gap between this person and this person with stories, with information. And so it's our job to make sure that the prospect knows that they're going to be having a conversation with someone who is smart, who is sharp, who can answer their questions and put them at ease and help them understand, is this something I'm interested in learning more about? And so edification is simply the art of building someone up. It's all about speaking highly of another person. Again, we can edify our products, edify our tools, but today we're talking about edifying people with belief and excitement. Because again, we're transferring credibility before the conversation even starts. It sets the tone, it builds trust. And what also it does is it helps your prospect know that, this person, they know what's up. They should listen. And this is going to be a credible resource if they ever need anything else. Because again, you're just the bridge, you're just the friend, you're just the college roommate, you're just that, you're just the next door neighbor, you're just the girl that they met at the park. That's you. You are connecting them with a professional in this business. And when it comes to edifying, this is not about flattery. It is all about positioning, making sure that you are creating the right posture for the conversation. Because when you set this up, you set up the person that's going to be helping you, you're going to set them up to shine. And I will tell you, a really good leader is going to shine that light back on you. So for example, when I'm edifying someone, I love to say, okay, this is this person, this is who they are, this is who they are to me, this is what they've done. And I love to stack their credentials, but more importantly, I love to tell who they are as a person. And what that person always does is they bring the light back on me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. Cassie, do you understand she's a powerhouse in this business? Not only is she doing her thing in this company, but do you know that girl is like flying all over the country, going to her daughter's basketball games? Gosh, she was just here and here and here. Like she has built a business where she can live her life around her business. Boom. Brings instant credibility. I didn't say that. Like most of the people that I'm talking to right now, they have no idea I've had any success here. They have no idea because I'm not going to toot my own horn. I'm not going to say this is who I am and these are all the great things I've done. I say, oh my gosh, tell me what's going on in your life. And when they tell me, I've got something I think you're going to be super interested in that can help. Check this out. I give them a little information. And it's always, you've got to meet so-and-so. You've got to meet this person. I'm constantly edifying from day one so they know that I work with really, really credible people. So here's an example. This is the amazing Michelle Scaff and the amazing Dr. Tamia. I wish we'd had a picture with Andrea and Dawn also in this moment because this was fire. Meeting each other in person was fire. And so here's an example of what setting up a three-way call or a three-way Zoom or an in-person coffee looks like and edifying someone. So first of all, you have to understand what your prospect needs. If I'm brand new, okay, when I was a brand new excited consultant and I was just starting in LifeVantage, the person that I was working with was doing about $5,000 a month in business because that person, they're credible. Like they're getting yeses. They're getting people gathered in rooms. They're giving presentations. They're telling the story. That's the perfect person to get on the phone with a brand new excited person because they've had some success. They're feeling it. They're in, like they're out there in the trenches building and building their business. And that brings credibility not only to you as a leader, but it brings credibility to for following the system, but it brings credibility to them. It helps them realize that, hey, I'm a leader in this business. Okay. So it's understanding what the prospect needs. Number two, if you've got someone, now this is Michelle and Dr. Tamia, the type of people that I would bring to these two is someone that maybe, like, for example, Michelle is an absolute baller in business. She is a slayer of corporate America. I've got people in my prospect list right now that are from corporate backgrounds. Michelle is a perfect person to talk to about what network marketing looks like, what LifeVantage can bring to the table, what she can do to help people transition from corporate America into network marketing. If I've got someone that is done network marketing before and they're questioning, like, oh my gosh, is this company real? Because man, this company, this was my experience here and this was my experience there. I'm going to say, girlfriend, you've got to talk to my girl, Dr. Tamia. This girl understands network marketing. She understands direct sales. She has been here for over 30 years and this woman is crushing it. You've got to meet her. So you know what your prospect on the other end of the call needs in the conversation. Maybe it's someone that maybe they're your doctor. Maybe it's someone that you know has massive research experience. Then you've got to get them on the line with someone that maybe has a little bit more experience on the science side, on the product side. So once we understand what the prospect needs, the next thing we do is we confirm the availability for both parties. I always say, oh my gosh, I hope I can get Michelle on the phone. She is so busy. This woman is out there building her business. Let me see when I can get 15 minutes on your calendar. And I confirm the time with my prospect, and I set the appointment. Okay. Now the appointment is set. We know whether we're on the call. We know whether we're on the Zoom. We know whether we're having coffee. Like, we get all the details set up. And then it's time for the actual event to take place. This is where you, my friend, as the consultant, as the captain of your own ship, you get to shine. Your most important piece in this moment is being able to edify both sides, both parties in the conversation. Because now, if I'm going to take my friend Lisa and I'm going to introduce her to my friend Michelle, I'm going to say, Lisa, I am so excited. First of all, I say, Michelle, I'm so excited you're going to meet Lisa. Lisa was my mentor. We worked together for years in corporate America. She taught me so many things on how to be a corporate professional. She taught me how to get up in front of the room. She taught me how to do this and this and this. I'm going to lay out all the things that she taught me. And I'm so grateful she's here today because now she's in this space in her life where wellness is a priority for her, but she also is looking for something different in her career. Okay, so she's ready to learn more about our products and our business. And Lisa, I can't think of anyone better today than Michelle Scaff to talk to you. Michelle has actually been a part of LifeVantage for 17 years. She was a corporate executive for IBM, and it just boom, boom, boom. I talk about her career. She's a wife, she's a mom to three amazing kids, she's a grandma. And this girl, not only did she crush it in corporate America, but man, she is crushing it here at LifeVantage. And she is the perfect person for you to talk to because not only is she a leader, she is a leader of leaders. And boom, I turn it over. The most important piece in the conversation next for you as the middleman is to mute your line. So if you're on the phone or if you're on Zoom, you're going to sit back and you're going to hit mute and you're going to pick up your paper, you're going to pick up your pen, and you're going to take notes because now it's your time to go to school. It's your time to listen to what the person you just put on a pedestal is about to say. There are so many times in these conversations that the conversation is going a certain way on purpose. The worst thing you can do is unmute and say, can I interject? Can I share something? Oh, Michelle, can you please talk a little bit about this? Michelle doesn't want you to talk. Michelle wants you to mute it and zip it. She wants you to zip it. Here's why. She knows what she's doing. She knows where she's going. Just like Dr. Tamia, just like Andrea, just like Dawn. These women are professionals. When you put them on the line with your prospect, you zip it. You mute, you don't talk, you let them take the conversation, you let them go. The only time you talk, the only time you unmute is when somebody asks you back into the conversation. And now, like Dr. Tamia may say, okay, I know you've got a great story with this. Tell me more about that. Boom. Then you're going to unmute and you're going to talk. And when you're done talking, you're going to stop talking because remember, you just put your friend on a pedestal. You just told everybody, this is who my friend is. This is why she's awesome. This is why you should listen to her. So that is what edification can do in your business. You set people out. So you talk about wanting to have duplication at its finest. Remember that whole story, 87 consecutive no's. I know we're a couple minutes over, guys. Thank you so much for being patient. 87 consecutive no's. I got my first yes. That first yes led to me understanding I just need to connect my people with somebody who knows how to do this better than me. That first month, okay, so it took me 6 weeks to get one $40 transaction in my business. But what I also learned is that letting somebody else do the work for me made my job a lot more fun. All I had to do was connect people to the people, connect people to the people, connect people to the people. That one conversation led to one customer in 6 weeks. But then the next month, I got my first consultant and I got 3 more customers. So now, little old me in Colton, South Dakota, 87 consecutive no's, got my first yes, and then got another yes, and then I got another yes. And here's what's happened. My consultant that said yes because of a third-party call. And you know what happened? She started putting her people on a third-party call. And over the course of the next 90 days, my business went from 200 when I started, then I got my first customer, then I got my first consultant and a couple of customers. Over the course of next 90 days, my business went from my $40 transaction to over $20,000 in volume just because I checked my ego at the door, realized that I wasn't the expert yet. I didn't need to know anything but other than how to connect people to the information. So, do you want to grow fast or slow? Because if you are in a place right now where you want to grow fast, I'm going to challenge you all today. Find your leader. Find your person. Find that one person that you know you can lock arms with. You can say, this is what I want. This is why I want it. This is where I'm going. Will you help me? And you lock arms with that person. You say, please give me your calendar. When are you available? Because I'm gonna fill that sucker up. I'm gonna fill it up with 3-way calls. And all I want you to do is talk to my people for me, with me, right? This is not a me business. This is a we business. We can't do it for you, but we will absolutely do this with you. Because if you want to grow fast right now, the next key, growing this thing fast. And remember, we're in the fourth quarter right now. Everything that we do right now is setting us up for Q1 2026. You want to grow fast? Fill up your calendar with conversations and bring somebody with you to help you do the heavy lifting. So with that, I'm going to stop share. And I thank you guys for hopping on with me today. My apologies for going a little bit late, but I just feel this topic is so important. And let's get out there. Let's make it happen. We have got a ton of time left in this month to crush it. Remember, month ends. I'm gonna hit stop here quick.